Portia Mystique still here with the Hidden Vine, and I am sitting next to the founder of Newfound Strength, Robert Lamb. Rob, how you feeling?
I'm doing really well.
Good. Now we're going to get into some fun conversation, but before I do that, please take a minute to introduce yourself to the people watching.
So I'm Robert Lamb. I am from Illinois. The Marine Corps moved me out to California. I was in the Marine Corps for 20 years. I became a personal trainer, and then that somehow morphed into this very interesting life of working on people's bodies with techniques that are just incredibly rare and unknown about.
Okay. We're going to backtrack a little bit because I do want to talk about how you morph people's bodies. That's crazy. But all right, you're originally from Illinois, but the Marine Corps moved you out to California. How long you been out here for?
Since 95.
Dang.
hmm
I was like 3. Well, that's amazing. And do you still have your like Chicago, Illinois style situation?
No, I'm not like that at all.
No?
No, not. I'm really glad I'm away from that. I don't really want to be that Midwestern person as far as, yeah, I don't know. I'm the Southern California. I really should have been born here in Southern California.
Okay, so you're right where you belong.
Yes.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what you do at Newfound Strength.
So I have several different modalities that are all holistic, but they work very differently from one another, but then they're also able to be combined, which is what I've done. I've got these modalities under my belt that they're not meant to be, they weren't thought of together at the same time. In fact, the mentors of each one of them, they really kind of like don't like the other techniques, but I found this very powerful way of putting it together. So I have this one technique, it's from the School of the Genius of Flexibility in Santa Barbara, and it's, as a general term, it's called resistance stretching. Its real name is RFST, Resistance, Flexibility, and Strengthening Techniques. And honestly, this is what every therapist in the world should be, this in my neurological work, this is what a therapist should be doing, because most people are coming to me and they are saying, I've been to 5 to 10 doctors. I've had 1 to 2 or 5 surgeries. I've seen a handful of chiropractors. I've seen multiple physical therapists, and I'm still really messed up, right? And then 99% of the time, I work on these people and with them for a little while, and they're saying, why? They're kind of mad. Why doesn't my physical therapist do this? And I'm saying, I agree. Why doesn't your person with a master's degree know what a retired Marine knows?
So it sounds like you have multiple different techniques to help people heal from pain. Are we talking about physical pain here?
Well, initially, everybody, 99% of everybody comes to me for physical pain. A few people now, and now that the word is getting around, actually come to me starting off saying, I have an emotional problem. I've not resolved it in counseling. No counselor's ever been able to help me with this. And I need to grow in this. I need to evolve in this kind of emotional way that so my life or someone else's life near me can actually manifest to be what it's supposed to be.
Interesting. Okay, pause. Let me think on what we're saying here. So what you're saying is that people come to you with an emotional problem and you help them physically heal from that emotional distress.
And yes, and evolve into the emotional version of that person that they're supposed to be, i.e., not a traumatized person. So we all know that there's 4 parts of you. There's the physical, there's the mental, there is the emotional, and there is the spiritual, your soul, right?
Yes.
Sometimes people want to lump emotional and spiritual together. It's separate parts.
Okay.
Everyone will agree that those are the parts of you, but they don't. But then it takes a whole paradigm shift to say that they're actually touching one another, connected to one another, and that you can use one of them to develop the other ones. I can touch your body, so I can use the movements of your body and the movements I create in your bodies and the places I can touch on your bodies to actually touch the emotional part of you. A lot of people have heard of somatic body work, right? And so I'm not a somatic worker by definition. I have a lot of other modalities and I do it very differently. I can also touch you spiritually and I can touch you mentally. I can improve you mentally by moving your body because there are energy meridian paths that everybody's familiar with from, like, say, acupuncture.
Yeah.
Well, when I move your body through that energy path, the same place the acupuncture would put his needles, his or
Mhm.
her needles, I'm activating the same energy meridian path.
Mm.
And so there is a energy meridian path for your brain.
Interesting.
And
So
it,
how did you go from Marine Corps to this? Like where I'm missing the trajectory here. Explain it to me.
it's a huge, crazy story. So I'm a Marine. I'm a very physical person. I'm almost like a drill instructor mentality. Is like I'm very dogmatic. Everything is there's one way to do everything,
Yeah.
and and if you don't do it this one way, you are wrong, right? So I was a very rigid person,
Yeah.
and in the Marine Corps, that's okay, right? Because you have to get a mission done. So I get out. I retire from the Marine Corps, and I move from being a weightlifter to a bodybuilder. More rigidity. You become more dogmatic,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And so I became a personal fitness trainer. So I just started off as a trainer. And a very strange thing, like all the most injured and dysfunctional bodies came to me. And when all the other young trainers would break somebody, and young trainers typically are breaking people, those people then came to me. So I had
Oh.
all these people who, when I went into being a trainer, I just thought, oh, I'm going to make strong people stronger. No, it wasn't the case. Like I had all the worst case scenarios.
Mhm.
Like somebody just had a heart attack and now they're in training.
Yeah.
Like, okay, okay. So, um, I had to learn. I was forced to start thinking in a whole new way. I
Mm.
started off with just actually some other basic certifications as a trainer, which with what I know now, those are nothing.
Mhm.
But it started to have a paradigm shift for me.
Mm.
Then I taught myself what physical therapy actually uses for a stretching system. And after about a year and a half of that, realized, well, this is woefully insufficient. No wonder me and 99% everyone else I've ever talked to coming out of physical therapy says, I didn't get much.
Oh.
And so I said, like, I need to learn something else.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't know what else there was. And so I'm just on the internet. I come across the Genius of Flexibility School in Santa Barbara and Boston. And I'd invite everybody to look that up and just start seeing some of their videos. I had this visceral response to the videos,
Mhm.
and I hadn't even seen them doing their thing yet. They were just talking about it. And I'm like, not only do I need this for my clients, but I need this for myself. Because I had just tons of injuries coming out of the Marine Corps and
Oh.
what I'd done to myself with 1,000-pound leg presses. It's ridiculous what that'll do to you.
You're right. Okay. Absolutely. So it went from knowing that there was a gap that needed to be filled and then finding that gap within
Hmm.
this school.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming you dove headfirst into
Oh,
that
yeah.
education.
Yeah, I was drawn like magnets, powerful magnets to
Mhm.
those. Like I was so into it. And so that was 2017. I was going to that school and
Mhm.
just learning tons of information. And like we could talk for 5 hours and I would barely explain anything to you about
Okay.
what that modality can do. And there's so much. And it's so powerful.
Mhm.
Like I've seen things that would make your hair stand on end, right?
Oh.
And I've seen miracles,
Mhm.
but it's all explained through your body,
Yeah.
right? But you're like, how did that happen? How did his personality change just because we put him in this position? And then, and so then in 2018, I was introduced to my neurological technique. And so you could think of this basically as muscle activation techniques.
Mhm.
There's places around your body that you can push on something and it'll turn on a muscle that's turned off or turn off a muscle, right?
Mhm.
So the body gets in, everybody knows the word compensation, and
Mhm.
your body gets put into neurological compensation by your brain. Your brain shuts off important muscles for short term benefits to keep you moving, keep you alive,
Mm.
but they all have very bad, negative, long term consequences.
Okay.
So in your whole body. This is basically why everyone over 40, definitely everyone over 50, starts having these random aches and pains. They're
Mm.
going to their doctor, they're going to their chiropractor, and they're getting temporary, if temporary results,
Yeah.
right? And of course, pain medication doesn't take care of anything, right? It
Yeah.
just lets the
Masks the
problem,
symptoms.
yeah, it just lets the
Mm-hmm.
problem get worse. So uh, the body's supposed to fire through a hierarchy, right? Everything has an order, right?
Okay.
And coming from a rigidity background, and it's like, hey, there's got to be a way to do everything. I really can appreciate, yeah, the body has a specific way it's supposed to work. And when it doesn't work in that manner, well, you're going to be in chaos.
Jeez.
Okay, so chaos is this other thing that just keeps always like rearing its ugly head when
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking in a person and working with them. And
That's all right. Well,
yeah.
if I can jump in. So, this whole idea of chaos, right? I think we, as just everyday people, we deal with chaos on a daily basis, right? What allows a person to say, all right, Rob is somebody that I definitely want to work with? Because in what you're saying to me, a lot of this is going over my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, listen, I get the science behind it. There's sounds like there's some mathematical stuff, there's some biological stuff. It's a lot of things that we as normal people, we don't learn this stuff, right? So a lot of us are new to what you're describing. So how can we see within ourselves that you're the right person, or even the modalities that you talked about are the things that we require? How would we know that?
Honestly, a lot of it comes down to personal experience,
Mm,
right? If before you touched an iPhone, before you saw it, before you saw a commercial, somebody might have said that there was this thing you can hold in your hand,
hmm
has no wires and it can do all this stuff. And before you knew what the internet was,
hmm
everyone now knows. But before it existed, describing it was very vague.
It's
You
hard.
had to go experience it. So my work is, I can describe it. I can say, well, I'm going to hold your arm like this, and I'm going to actually have you contract and pull your hand to yourself. And then I'm going to move you, and you're going to resist me. And I'm going to move your arm in certain paths, and I'm going to read your body like somebody reading Braille.
Mm,
And I'm going to feel things through your body. And I'm going to feel things that you may not even feel.
hmm
And I'm also might feel your emotions while I'm touching you.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Right. Yeah. I might have visions that you're having images of in your head.
And this is all through just the work that you do.
The work that I do in my own personal development to become really sensitive
Hmm
to the energies and sensitive to what the body's going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then after I started learning those first two techniques, I was seeing everyone experiencing a lot of emotional chaos
Yeah.
while I'm working on them. And then so I actually had to start studying a lot of psychology and trauma healing. So then I could start bringing even more help to the
hmm
people when they were going through the emotional chaos was coming back out of their body
Yeah.
and they were experiencing it. I could help them make more sense of it.
It definitely sounds like your dedication drives everything that you do. And I love that. I think people who are truly dedicated to their work, they're the ones that are able to help people in a way that, most people who are doing it for a paycheck can't, right?
Right. Yeah. You can't be in this just for the money, because this work is so energy draining, physical, mental, emotional, is spiritually draining on me. I have to do a lot of self recovery work
Yeah.
every week to stay alive.
So if somebody were interested in what you were doing, but a little apprehensive, maybe because they don't understand it or they don't know what results to expect, what would you say to them to help them ease into the work that you do?
First, go look at all the testimonials, because people are saying crazy things also in their testimonials. And there's no way I could be putting out hundreds of crazy testimonials on my I've got videos on my website. I have the Yelp and the Google reviews, and just people are saying that there was some kind of crazy holistic emotional release. My knee was better, and he never touched my knee. All right.
Yeah.
People have become, I got on the table as one person, I got off the table as another different person.
Interesting. Okay, so tell me that website. We need to know where to go to watch these reviews because some of us are going to need proof. Where do we go?
Newfound Strength Fitness and nutrition is the business name. So, and Newfound in my business is two. Here's the joke. It's funny. So when I wanted to start my company, I was like, my rigid brain said Newfound Strength. That's the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out somebody else, of course, had that name.
Oh.
All right. Newfound is one word. So
Mm-hmm.
with my business, I just said, well, I want that name. So it's 2 words now.
Okay.
So Newfound Strength,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have a YouTube channel with a few videos, so people could go see some of it in action, and I describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can watch the testimonials, so you can see a lot of people actually describing the crazy stuff that's happened, or the changes, or how they were told to go home, sit down, and don't ever move again. And then they found me.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're strong, functioning, capable people.
That's powerful stuff. So one more time on the website, what's the URL?
Newfound Strength. Oh my gosh. Newfound Strength Fitness .com.
There
Yes.
it is. Newfound.
Yes.
We'll confirm and we'll put it in the thing. It's fine. It'll be
Yes.
in the description, but we can also Google search it because
Yes.
you have Google reviews.
Yeah. Google reviews, Yelp reviews, right?
Okay.
Sometimes people are just looking for a personal trainer and then they start reading all this stuff. And I am still technically a personal trainer, but I really like working, fixing someone's body more than making a body.
Got it.
So, I mean, I can make a first place physique body if you want to go do that, but it's just much more rewarding to take somebody who's lost their life physically then they're depressed because they can't do anything physically, and then give them their life back.
Newfound strength.
Newfound strength.
I get it. Well, thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys go to Google, search Robert Dean Lamb, or search Newfound Strength Fitness. Follow him on all of his socials. And until next time.